to share with you some of my rigging techniques as far as it goes with making sure that you can get the bait to the bottom. I'm big at making sure that I can get that bait to the bottom and making sure that it stays there and it's not drifting in some of these rivers and some of the current that we have around here, especially for those of you that fish, you know, the Upper Bay, the Nanticoke, any of those places, any place that has, you know, a good amount of current. Some of these ponds on a good windy day will have a good amount of water movement in them, especially, you know, the bottom side of some of these pond dams, and some people that might, you know, not have the luxury of getting on a boat. This I actually just found. I just picked these up. I had an opportunity to fish these a couple times. These are 5/16 ounce VMC Rugby Jigs. I highly recommend them now that I've started using them, and I'll show you why. These ones they're already painted green, which is cool. They're a football style head to them, but it has a 4/0 hook on there already. It's just like fishing a jig, but we're gonna attach just a plastic to it. You know, it's not the bulk of the jig making it huge. You're missing the skirt, so just the plastic. You know, that gives you the opportunity to throw that 5-6 inch ribbon tail worm and really get it to the bottom and fish those docks and those pylons and any kind of structure that you might have. This is an all-in-one unit here. The reason that I really like these is they have this recessed tie-in. Makes it really, really, really nice for skipping docks, for doing those things in tight cover, and it can remain weedless, which I think is extremely, extremely valuable, especially in waters around here where you have a lot of laydowns, and that's going to be 90% of your natural cover is going to be those thick trees that have fallen in. So this VMC Rugby Jig here is awesome, and I'll show you why. Let me just grab some worms out of here. So this is the hoax fish. This is kind of a different bait, and I really, really like it. It's called the chiseler. It's a fatter worm, or a fatter worm with a chisel tail, but the actual tail of it is really, really flimsy. And when I hook this up, especially on these VMC rugbies, so same thing I'm doing that I would do for a normal Texas rig. I'm coming out of it, taking it all the way up to that head, and you want to make sure that, I just messed it up, that you go really super shallow on this, so you're not going as far up the bait as you normally would. And you want to make sure that it sits right on that head. I mean, the closer to that head and the more natural you can get it to look straight here, the better off you're going to be. I put it right through. So find my center, put it right through. And there it is. And then you can tuck this hook point. That's what makes these chiselers so awesome. These chiselers have, I'll let you guys see it up close here. These chiselers have some good meat to them. I mean, they're heavy, they're weighted themselves. So probably not the best example to give you guys, just because the weight in this tail, you can see it already, is gonna curl this over. But what I'm looking for out of these VMC rugby jigs is I want to be able to skirt it on the bottom, almost like a shaky head, but enough to where if I pull it over some rocks at the bottom of a rock pile, or off of, you know, a break in somebody's backyard, somebody might have a nice erosion break. We see it a lot on the Nanticoke or some of these rivers where there'll be a nice rock jetty almost. That's what I'm looking for here. Something that I can kind of just skip this over the bottom, and I'm clanking the bottom the whole time. Anytime that you can come in contact with this head, you're making noise. It's going to attract the look of that bass, which I really like about these rugby jigs. But if you could throw a stand-up worm, anything on these curly tail worms, straight tail worms like what you would throw on some of these shaky heads, some of these bigger worms. Have really good luck in the rivers with these bigger, longer, larger worms. So don't be afraid to throw something like that on with these rugby jigs. And if you've never seen one of these, check them out. You can go right on VMC's website and you can check them out. They make different colors, different weights, different varieties. Like I said, this is 5/16, so this is a pretty good weight for basically being versatile in any condition that you might have. I'm looking for an easier way to find those fish, stay weedless, get into those hard to reach spots. That's where you're gonna find these bass. We're coming up on the dog days of summer when everything's gonna slow down, water temp's gonna skyrocket, these bass are gonna be sluggish, lethargic sometimes, and only feed, early morning, late at night. If you want something that's gonna lure them out, get you that perfect cast to get you under that tree to make sure that you can grab those bass that might be interested, I've given you some good alternatives there. If you guys have any questions, any comments, I definitely appreciate them. If you guys would like to see a technique that I'm familiar with, or maybe I'm not familiar with, that you guys would like me to try to learn or teach you so that we can learn together, please drop me a comment, a like, a share, a follow, anything that you can do to help support this YouTube channel. I'd like to, get pretty big and be able to go places and show you guys what I do in those situations, so that when it's your time to hit the lake or when it's your time to learn a new technique, you'll say, oh, I remember Big Chris did it this way. So like I said, I appreciate everybody. Thanks for checking this out. Make sure you subscribe and click that like button down there in that bottom corner. Have a good night.